Today's story is the story of the Red Sea.
It was a long journey leaving Egypt. The Israelites camped on the shore of the Red Sea. The people were feeling really nervous. Moses squinted into the darkening sky. Had he heard something? Something in the distance? Moses shook his head slowly. He did not trust Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, to keep his promise. "Do you think Pharaoh followed us?" Aaron asked Moses. "We will see," Moses said. "We will see." Moses didn't have to wait too long. Soon a growing cloud of dust rose up in the distance. A rumble of horse hooves thundered toward the travelers. They could see them clearly now. Hundreds of Pharaoh's chariots charged towards them. Hundreds of soldiers followed with orders to bring the people back. "We're trapped," someone yelled. A strong wind began to blow. Cries went up from the people. "Moses," they shouted, "have you brought us here to die?" "Don't be afraid," Moses told his people. "Stand firm. God is with us." Moses gripped the staff in his hand. "Prepare to move out," he shouted into the wind. "Where, Moses?" Aaron said. "There's no place to go." "Through the Red Sea," Moses said. "God will make a way." Moses stood on the edge of the shore. He raised his right arm. He stretched his staff out over the white waves, and the waters trembled and divided. The wild wind roared. Soon a wall of water stood on the left and the right. Dry land appeared between the walls of water, a safe path to the other side. "Move now," Moses ordered. How strange it must have felt to step onto the sandy path. How scary to feel the spray from the water waiting on either side. Would God save them? Would God keep the promise to Moses? In the morning, Pharaoh's army stood at the shores of the Red Sea. He saw the Israelites safe on the other side. Soon the chariots groaned and the soldiers cracked their whips. Pharaoh's army moved slowly across the rocky, sandy path. "They will catch us," a young woman yelled. "Watch and wait," said Moses. Moses once again held up his staff over the walls of the waves. Tons of water came tumbling down. Horses, chariots, and riders were all swept into the sea. From the safe shore came the sound of singing and dancing, led by Miriam, Moses' sister. "Sing to the Lord," the Israelites shouted. "God has saved us." God loved the Israelites and their leader, Moses. God promised to bring the people to a place where they could build homes and live happily. They had never lived outside Egypt before, and they were afraid. But God went with them as they walked long and far to the place that God promised. Traveling was hard and tiring. Along the way, people became hungry. They complained to Moses, saying, "I'm so hungry," one boy cried. "I wish I could go back to Egypt," whined a little girl. "At least we had food to eat there." Her stomach growled. The people missed their dinners of meat and bread. The Israelites didn't know that God heard them complaining. That evening, something strange happened. Tiny birds called quails appeared everywhere. God sent the quails so that the people could eat meat. The next morning, the ground glistened with fresh dew. Even after the sun dried up the dew, there was still something covering the ground. It looked like bread had rained down from heaven. It was manna. The manna looked like tiny seeds, but tasted like bread. The people ate and ate. Every day, God sent manna and quails so that the people had food to eat. The Israelites kept traveling toward the place God promised. After a while, they ran out of water. Even though God had given them food when they were hungry, the people still complained. "My mouth feels dry like a desert," sobbed a child. The people were thirsty. This time, God told Moses to hit a rock with his staff. When he did, water gushed out of the rock. The people had more than enough to drink. God gave food and water to the Israelites every day. God took care of the people, just like God promised.